All right, so how to start an ice cream truck in Florida. I'm going to give you the complete step-by-step tutorial on how this actually works. And I'm going to break it down and give you costs, tell you about permits, licenses, where you can park, and well, everything else in between. So if you are thinking about starting an ice cream truck in Florida, that's a great move. The warm climate with constant events and tourist traffic makes it one of the best states in the U.S. actually to launch a mobile frozen treat business of any kind. But before you hit the roads and hit the streets playing the ice cream jingle as it is, there's a little bit of a checklist of steps you need to take, from legal profitability and protected aspects from insurance you need to be aware of. So let's dive right into this. Step one, choose what kind of ice cream you want to sell. Yes, you do have multiple options, as a matter of fact. You can start off with prepackaged ice cream bars, popsicles, or even ice cream cups. These are the easiest way to start. You can do soft serve, but that's also using machines. You can do hand scooped ice cream or even gelato, Italian ice or slushies, milkshakes, or even vegan alternatives. Now, why this is important to understand? Well, the type of ice cream determines everything, as a matter of fact, from what licenses you need to actually what type of equipment you need to install, how much power you require, and of course, how high your startup costs will be from the get-go. Here's an example. Prepackaged products, okay? They require no hand washing sink or 3-compartment sink, and you can actually qualify as a limited food establishment in some areas. Soft serve or even scooped ice cream, however, those items actually count as an open food item and need full mobile food dispensing vehicle licensing, plus, of course, sinks, sanitation systems, and a prep space. Now, here's a tip. If you're brand new, start with the prepackaged stuff. It's actually faster, cheaper, and easier to scale. Step two, buy or even convert an ice cream truck. Now, of course, you have two routes you can take on this one. Number one, buy a fully equipped ice cream truck that's already set to go. Now, of course, that has a tendency to be a little more expensive, but it is already set to go and you're already ready to go. Number two, convert a used van or bus or even a trailer. Now, the cost breakdown for these two variations, let me tell you a little bit about that. Used basic prepackaged trucks can run anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000, even potentially more. Now, fully built truck with like a soft serve machines, you're looking at about a range of $30,000 to maybe even $80,000. Okay. Now, convert your own trailer. This could be like a $7,000 to $20,000, depending on the labor, and of course, how much of that actual converting you're doing. Now, why this matters? Well, your truck is your storefront and the kitchen in one. Now, if you skip on insulation, let's say, or freezer reliability, or even power supply, you'll end up with the melted product and a broken down equipment, aka known as lost revenue and no business. Now, Florida summers are pretty brutal, and you'll need some serious cooling capacity to survive those hot days without product loss. That's very important, and it's one thing you need to be aware of, especially in the climate that you're going into. Step number three, Florida licenses and permits. Okay, so this is not the most glamorous part, but the legality part of it is probably the most important. Now, this is something that definitely is non-negotiable. Let's break this down to understand how this works. Mobile Food Dispensing Vehicle License, that's the MFDV. It's actually issued by Florida's Department of Business and Professional Regulations. Now, this costs around, now this is yearly, between about $50 to $150 ballpark, okay? Now, why this matters? Well, this is your food truck's master license in a sense. It actually proves that you're compliant with health, sanitation, and safety standards. Without this, you really can't operate anywhere legally, technically. Next up is the food manager certification. Now, this is kind of like a ServSafe or equivalent to that. Now, that's required if you're serving open food. Okay, that's a little different. Open food like soft serve or scooped ice cream. Now, that costs about $150, and that's actually every 5 years, though. Now, why this matters? Well, it trains you or your manager in food safety, especially critical for like frozen dairy products, which can, of course, expire and get mold very quickly if it's not temperature controlled, which can become dangerous, and if not kept at proper temperatures, can be a big problem. Food handler cards, well, all staff must complete a basic food safety training program. Now, that costs about $10 to $15 per person. That's not a big expense, and I believe that's actually done just once, if I'm not mistaken. County business tax receipt. Okay, so this is, you want to definitely get this from your city or county, like for instance, Miami-Dade, Hillsborough County, etc. Now, the cost for this is about $30 to $100. Now, why this matters? Well, this actually proves that you're allowed to do business in those jurisdictions. And even if you're already licensed by the state, each county you operate in, it actually may require it as you own business tax receipts, okay? So be aware that if you cross over different jurisdictions, you may have to actually have them in all. Sales tax registration. Now, register with the Florida Department of Revenue. You'll actually collect sales tax and remit it monthly and or quarterly. Why this matters? Well, Florida taxes most actual food sales, including prepackaged or frozen desserts. Not registering ends up being back taxes, fines, and you just don't want to deal with that. Step 4, insurance. Definitely don't want to skip this. This is actually not that difficult to do. And by the way, all of these things, we'll have some additional resources, guys, down in the description below the video. You can open up the description section. I've got some great links to other resources to help you out. So step 4 is insurance. So commercial auto insurance. This is required if you're operating a food truck in the state of Florida. Now, general liability insurance, this actually protects you if someone gets sick, trips, or even files a claim against you. Now, you say trips and falls, and you're like, wait, it's just an ice cream truck. Well, someone outside your ice cream truck, if something happens to be leaking and someone falls, it could be your fault. Estimated cost between $500 to $1,200 a year. And of course, why does this matter? Well, accidents happen. One kid slipping on some ice cream, you could be out $10,000 in legal fees without insurance. Plus, many venues actually won't even let you park without proof of coverage, by the way. Step 4. All right, so you want to buy equipment based on the menu. Like back in the beginning of the video, as I mentioned, prepackaged, soft serve, they're all different as far as equipment. So let me run down some basics of what you'll need. If you're selling prepackaged ice creams, you're going to need a commercial freezer, obviously. You're going to be about $1,500 to $3,000. Generator, a 3,000 watt plus would run you about $800 to maybe $1,200 on the high end. A POS system, so like a Square, Clover, and such, run you about $300. If you're going to have any type of music system or speaker, that could be a couple $100 as well. Now, soft serve is a little different. Custom ice cream setup for this, well, soft serve machines can be about $3,000 to even $10,000. Now, deep freezers for those, about $1,000 to $2,000. A sink system, you'd be like hand wash sinks plus a 3-compartment sink because you'll need that for soft serve. $1,200 to about $3,000. Okay, now that also pretty much includes also the labor. So that's the sink unit and the labor. Now, high output generator, like a Honda 9,500 watt plus, you're looking at about $1,500 to $2,500. And again, by the way, really quick mention, we've got some great links to online resources for generators too, guys, down below in the description. Now, why does this matter? Okay, so Florida's heat demands huge commercial level cooling systems and strong power sources for your ice cream truck. You'll need a generator powerful enough to run freezers, of course, machines, lights, fans, and all that without failing. So definitely something worth investing in, a good one when you start. All right, step 6. This is really important. Understanding the parking laws and permits rules in Florida. Now, here where most actual food truck businesses kind of get a little stuck, and ice cream trucks are no exception. The general rule across Florida is this. You must have written permission from property owners to park and sell on private property. Now, public roads and parks usually require city-specific permits, and they may be kind of off limits without approval. That's definitely like if you're in a city, Miami, if you're in the city of Orlando, you got to get those specific permits for that specific city, okay? Why parking permission actually matters? Well, if you park without written approval, your business could be to actually shut down, fined, or even towed. Some counties like Palm Bay or even Westlake limit parking to only 1 to 2 vendors per property. So crowding isn't always going to be allowed unless it's permitted by the event. All right, parking too close to intersections, driveways, ADA spots, or even bus stops can equal automatic violations. So you definitely want to be aware of where you're putting your truck. All right, so here's some examples by the city. For instance, Jacksonville, like there's no right-of-way parking, must stay within 25 to 50 feet away from any intersection. You can't block sidewalks or even business entrances. No vending on metered spaces as well. Now, Westlake, near Palm Beach County as it is, ice cream trucks must move within 10 minutes in residential zones unless there's a line of customers. You must also avoid drive aisles, fire lanes, and of course, loading zones. There's also 1 food truck allowed per property unless a special permit is granted. So takeaway from the parking, here's a few takeaways you might want to understand about the parking situation. Always, of course, get a written permission. Carry it with you, guys. Keep it in your truck. No time limits. Some cities enforce 10 to 15 minute max in neighborhoods. Avoid critical restricted zones like fire lanes, ADA, which is American Disabilities Association spots, public sidewalks, and such. For events or large plazas, you want to get an event permit or work through the property managers. So final steps, promote and grow your business. So wrap your truck, by the way, in a bright branded look. Your truck is a walking billboard, actually a riding, driving billboard of your business. You want to get active on Instagram, Facebook, or even Google Business. Offer birthday catering, festivals, and school events. You want to partner with local businesses for weekly stops. It's a great way to get additional revenue. So let's do a really recap of some of the preliminary final startup cost breakdown. Okay, so you take a look at this. I've got ice cream truck used. You're looking at estimated about $15,000. Equipment and freezers, $30,000. Licensing and permits, about $500. You got insurance of about $1,000. Branding and wrapping, that's going to be about $1,500. Total inventory is about $1,000. Generator, we go to about $1,000. And a POS and speaker system, about $400. So total all in, $23,400. Now, this can reduce this actually further by renting or even buying a used truck if you're doing that. So definitely let us know down below. We'll definitely help you out if you've got any questions about launching a fruit ice cream truck in Florida. They are gold mines because I've seen them. We just got back from a trip recently. They are everywhere. And during the hot summer times and every time of the year, they are definitely pulling in a lot of money. So I'll see you guys on our next video.